Hello there. Today I'm going to show you part of my 10-inch LP collection, and in the background I have this one playing right now. Dixieland Classic, Phil Napoleon's Emperors of Jazz. This one, some of the Mercury ones for some reason have thin and paper sleeves. Some have thick ones, and I have a double of actually Tony Martin, and I don't know why they did this sometimes. It's like a flat. 10-inch LPs, I guess, were big from the late 40s and early 1950s. I mean, early to mid, probably late 50s, because they fit in with people's 10-inch 78 collections, and I think that's what happened. And then I think by the 60s they were pretty much out of sight. Here's this one here, University of Pennsylvania. Actually, I found that record player in the garbage. My neighbor was throwing it out, messed with it a little bit and got it to work. So it's kind of a cool sub-story there on the side. She's not sounding really good. She sounds a little rough. Half-hour dance here on Plymouth. I don't think he even credits a orchestra. Here's a local record. I put a sleeve in. I had to clean it up. Taylor Alderdice High School, 1956. Let me see. I can probably get this clear. There we go. On the Wayne label, whatever that is, it kind of got like a guy's last name at the end of it. It's interesting. It's actually recorded at the high school there, in the Squirrel Hill section of Pittsburgh. Language records, some are mixed up. This is from the local paper, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Here's another local school record, Golden West Intermediate School. There's the Mustang Band. And of course, these are like regular albums. These are all 10-inchers. They're less common than 12-inch albums. Here's a Spanish language living course. Annie Gets Your Gun. No jacket, a 10-incher of this. I believe this was in 12-inch format too at one time, but this is the old MGM label. Yeah, the very early 60s is maybe like the newest you can find is in their popularity. Although they did do some punk and some alternative rock that do special releases in certain stores you can get them in. So, okay, here's a cover of the Spanish. That's the living Spanish here. Here's an interesting one. It's from a book called Stories from Ride with the Sun. An anthology of folk tales and stories from the United Nations. So I think there was supposed to be a book in it. In one part of this, I got like a double. See, there's cardboard in the middle. The record's on the one side. Folkways records. This album here looks like it's from 1955. I don't think I've given this one too much play. My poor headache cut off. It's big anyway. The Rosary Story. It's about how to say it. Its origin and nature. There's a nice Catholic instruction record there about the Rosary. There's no cover on that one. Here's a rare Webb Pierce, if anybody here is an old country western fan. I actually forget where I acquired this one at. I don't know if I found it in a flea market or in a local sale or not or anything. Very interesting though. I can get that thing so clear. Okay, there we go. Ink spots. I have a double of this one. I found another copy of this with a jacket more recently. I don't know if this is the original group. I don't think it is, but it's very nice to listen to. For some reason, I can't get this one to play with this needle on this little player for some reason. I try to play without skipping, but it kept skipping. March is a Remington military band on the Remington label. Don't know if it's related to the shaving razor company. Gems from Sigmund Romberg shows. Sigmund Romberg and his orchestra. So evidently this is the composer of these shows and the actual guy, orchestra guy at the same time. You see that once in a great while. I actually have some Philip Sousa 78s, like from the turn of the century, 80 organs with that that are actually with his band. So I don't know if he's alive at the time. Favorite Wine songs. This is on a Bell record label, but nothing related to any other Bell labels out there. I had this for actually many years. It's a Hawaiian record. Hawaiian, real Hawaiian serenaders with George Canapo. This is an interesting one. Now, I had to photocopy the original jacket due to the fact it was so water damaged and you can even really barely see it with the photocopy. It was very damaged. The disc is still decent. I had to clean it up. You look at all the original damage it had. That's just a photocopy because the paper is so nasty and full of mold. It's called Polish Christmas Songs, and yeah, you can see the damage. But, you know, if I see one that's playable, I try to save it. Play it, you know, offer it, or maybe eventually sell or give it away cheap. Probably nothing, so I enjoy it. This is all in Polish. So if anybody that's Polish speaking or knows the language, Polish language well, contact me. I can either put it on a CD for you, or that's like one of the odd time, less common 10-inch LPs I have. Hymns of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I forget where. I think I found this at a thrift store or something. Very interesting. Another religious one on a Decca label. It's another 10-incher. Eddie Duchin plays the music of George Gershwin. Yes, it's the Eddie Duchin that they did the movie all about. This is when Eddie Duchin was actually still playing him. Typically, 10-inch LPs usually have 4 tracks on each side. It's usually a total of 8 tracks typically. There are somewhat more or somewhat less. Popular Concert by Lily Pons. It just came like in a bunch I bought from the thrift store, so I just took a whole bunch of all like little 10-inch LPs. I've heard of her, but I'm not sure I played this one. So I think she has a very nice voice. Closer. We're still going. This is only maybe a fourth of my collection. I still got a lot more. This one's called Planes, Tugboats, and Fire Engines, which is an interesting album. I don't know if it's a children's. What the interesting part about this 10-inch LP is, by the time 10-inch LPs were getting unpopular, Columbia did not use a 6i. Quit using 10-inchers, and this is one of the few 6i, as record collectors call them, label. It's a 10-inch, which is kind of odd. So that's what makes it also rare and interesting. The subject of it does too. So I believe it's children's stories. Let's Dance the Polka on Concert Time. This is one of flimsy, cheaper record. Nothing about the artist on the back. Just has a whole bunch of by the Polka Kings. Had that one for a long time. But I met this elderly couple I respond to that online locally in Pittsburgh, and they had 10-inch LPs for sale. They had a lot of Patty Page, rare Patty Page 10-inch LPs on Mercury, 8 tracks each. These have all heavy sleeves. Another one of hers, very beautiful. I mean, very nice shape. Another one of Miss Patty Page. I kept thinking she was from Pittsburgh, but I think she is from somewhere else, but not real far from here, I don't think. I mean, a slew. I mean, a very rare 10-inch album. This is the third one. Still more of her. A fourth one, and some very nice rare 7-inch 45 EPs of her too. Those were popular until about the early 60s. Maybe it's the early 60s. And they're all very nice shapes, beautiful shapes. Some have like a cloud of murkiness on some of them. I don't know what that's from, unless just from time or from age. There's another very interesting photograph. A dark around her. Another very interesting. This is usually common mercury label on pressings from this era. Let's see here. Another varsity label. I've seen this label on 78s too. Called a Twilight 3. I guess it's I don't know if it's like a rip-off of the Three Sons or not, but I'd have to play it. Here's an actual record of the Three Sons, which is kind of interesting. On the same label, but it credits it to the Three Sons. Midnight Time. Since our one side of Phil Napoleon's at it, maybe we can throw this on for the very end. I don't think I've really ever played this, so let's hear what it sounds like. If it plays okay. Here's a record I found. It's a classical record. Bach. Part of the actual sleeve was ripped, and actually this section was missing. So I kind of did a clever thing and try to keep it as, together as possible. And it had a cardboard back, but a paper front. It was really bizarre. Yeah, so it had like a thin paper front and a cardboard back, and this is on the Columbia Master. Back then they used blue. On the 78 RPMs and the earlier LPs, Columbia usually used the blue for the Masterworks before they went to gray. And the 6i era, they record collectors are out there that know about that. Here's another Masterworks with no cover at all. This is works of Strauss. This side is actually the local Pittsburgh Symphony, which is kind of cool. A little closer there. There you go. Fritz Reiner conducting. And this side is Richard Strauss' work. The Ode from Spiegel's Merry Pranks, Offer 28, whatever that is. Let's focus on that title. I can't even make out what it is. Hold on. It's a weird title. So I have no idea what that is. The other title is Don Juan, which I can pronounce that. I have no idea what the other Strauss one is. We're almost done with this installment. And like I said, some punk stuff, some alternative rock. Like here's a Dropkick Murphys picture disc. I was into them for a very brief time. I thought they had a pretty cool sound. I'm more into older music, classic rock, but for punk style, like Irish Boston rock, they're pretty good. They're alright. So it's a blackout 10-inch disc. Here's a group called AFI. I thought it was cool looking. It's another picture disc. It's a 10-incher. Like I said, some punk stuff. I think it's only got like a track on each side. AFI. And then I don't know how these got mixed in, but these are actually children's 10-inch 78s. Parade of the Wooden Soldiers, Singing Time of Mother Goose, and the Bird Orchestra, the Merry-Go-Rounders. The interesting thing about this is the children's label Columbia used on the 78s. for record collectors and people that don't know out there. Usually have an illustration on the very top and add a label like that. Those are two 78s that snuck in when I grabbed the stack. I didn't know they were there. Well, there you have it. There's part one of my 10-inch LP collection. A few kids 78s that